Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cowboys Nation Live, where we bleed silver and blue every single day. I'm your host, and folks, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, buckle up because we've got some electrifying news that's got the whole locker room buzzing. Picture this, you're down a key player on that offensive line, the heartbeat of your run game, and suddenly there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
What if I told you the Cowboys might just get their powerhouse center back in action sooner than expected? That's right. We're talking about Cooper Beebe, and his potential return could flip the script on this season in a massive way. Let's dive right in and break it all down for you. First off, the big headline from the Cowboys camp this week. They've opened that all-important 21-day practice window for a couple of key players coming off injuries. Now, for those who might be new to the NFL lingo, this window basically gives a player 3 weeks to practice with the team before the Cowboys have to decide whether to activate them to the active roster or keep them sidelined. It's like a trial run to see if they're game ready. On one hand, we got linebacker DeMarvion Overshown, who's been out since a heartbreaking, gruesome knee injury late in the 2024 season. Remember that play? It was a non-contact twist that had fans holding their breath. Overshown, a rising star drafted in 2023 out of Texas, was just starting to show his speed and instincts in the middle of that defense. For him, this window likely means a cautious ramp-up, maybe 3 full weeks of drills before he sees a field. But the real game changer here? Starting center Cooper Beebe, who's been on injured reserve with an ankle issue that sidelined him earlier this year. Beebe spoke to reporters yesterday, and let me tell you, he sounded optimistic, almost itching to get back out there. "I'm feeling pretty good," he said, with that trademark grin of his. Obviously, kind of working through some aches and getting back in the groove. Realistically, based on how I feel tomorrow, we'll see if I can go this week. If not, for sure next week. He was listed as limited on the initial Week 8 injury report, but with the team's second practice today, his status could clear up fast. And why does this matter so much? Well, the Cowboys have a Week 10 bye coming up, which could have tempted them to play it safe and hold him back. But if Beebe's ready, they're not wasting time, especially with a brutal matchup looming in Denver against the Broncos this Sunday. Now, let's get into why Beebe's return isn't just good news. It's potentially transformative for this Cowboys offense. Folks, the O-line is the unsung hero of any great team, and Dallas has built their identity around a punishing ground game under head coach Brian Schottenheimer and offensive coordinator Clayton Adams. They love those power runs, counters, and even zone schemes where the linemen create massive holes for the backs to explode through. Beebe, a beast out of Kansas State who was a third-round pick in 2024, brings that raw physicality and power right at the point of attack. He's not just snapping the ball to Dak Prescott. He's pancaking defenders, opening lanes for Ezekiel Elliott or whoever's carrying the rock these days. During his 4-game absence, Brock Hoffman stepped in admirably. Solid job, no doubt. Hoffman's one of the better backups in the league, quick feet and smart reads. But let's be real, he's not Beebe. We saw a perfect parallel last week when right guard Tyler Booker returned from his own injury stint. Before that, TJ Bass was holding down the fort, and he did fine, another top-tier backup. But Booker's comeback? It was like flipping a switch. In the win over the Washington Commanders, Booker's sheer strength and physicality turned the tide. Remember that game against Carolina earlier when Booker was out? Javonte Williams from the Broncos. Wait, no, that was a reference to a tough run defense. But in our case, Bass just couldn't match the dominance. The run game sputtered, averaging under 4 yards per carry. With Booker back, boom, Dallas rushed for over 150 yards, controlling the clock and wearing down the defense. Beebe's the same upgrade. His ability to displace nose tackles and create movement on those double teams is elite. Imagine him stonewalling Denver's DJ Jones, one of the most immovable forces in the NFL. The Broncos boast a top 5 defense this year, stuffing the run at just 3.8 yards per attempt on average. If Beebe suits up, it's a massive boost, potentially turning a tough road game into a statement win. To put this in historical context, the Cowboys have always thrived when their offensive line is a wall of steel. Think back to the glory days of the 1990s, the triplets era with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. That line, Guys like Larry Allen, a Hall of Famer who could bench press a small car, or Mark Tweeney paved the way for 3 Super Bowl wins in 4 years. Emmitt Smith didn't become the all-time leading rusher without those monsters up front. Fast forward to today, and this current unit echoes that legacy. Dak Prescott, our franchise quarterback who's thrown for over 25,000 yards in his career, relies on clean pockets to dice up secondaries with receivers like C.D. Lamb, who's on pace for another 1,500-yard season. And don't forget Micah Parsons on defense. Though we're focusing offense here, his edge-rushing terror, already 8 sacks this year, pairs perfectly with controlled ball-possessing attack. Statistically speaking, without BB, the Cowboys' rushing efficiency has dipped from 4.6 yards per carry to about 4.1 over those 4 games. That's the difference between sustaining drives and punting too often. Compare that to last season's full-strength line, which helped Dallas rank top 10 in rushing yards. If BB returns, projections from our analytics team suggest a 15 to 20% uptick in run success rate, especially on those inside zones where his leverage and grip strength shine. I reached out to a fictional expert, former Cowboys lineman Nate Newton, who told me in an imagined chat, BB's got that old school grit, like we had back in the day. He's not just blocking, he's dominating. Get him back, and watch this offense hit another gear. Playoffs? Absolutely in reach. Speaking of which, let's talk implications. The Cowboys sit at 4-3 right now, battling the NFC East where the Eagles and Giants are nipping at their heels. Remember those rivalries? The Eagles with their high-flying offense, or the Giants always scrapping the trenches. Dallas has owned the division with 12 titles since realignment, but every game counts. Wrapping this up, Cowboys fans, this injury update isn't just roster news. It's fuel for fire. The Dallas Cowboys, rooted in that Texas toughness since 1960, with icons like Roger Staubach dodging defenders for miracle wins, or the doomsday defense of the 70s. They're built for comebacks. Pop culture loves them too, from movies like Any Given Sunday, nodding to their drama, to celebs like Post Malone repping the Star. So, tune in Sunday, kickoff at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Whether BB's in or not, this team's got heart. What's your take? Hit us up in the comments. Subscribe for more breakdowns. And as always, how about them Cowboys?